Grant, how's the reaction been from the weekend?
Yeah, good. We got the boys back in this morning, spoke about one or two things from the game, but obviously our focus has turned straight to the next game. They comes so fast in the game tomorrow evening. So yeah, we want to respond. We didn't really get going in the game, barring the first 10 minutes. We were a little bit passive in our press and in our play, but we know that the players they're a good group of boys here. We have an honest group of lads, and yeah, we just let our discipline sort of way take over towards the end of the game as well and during the game. So there's things that we need to obviously be better at and improve on, and we'll hopefully do that tomorrow night.
You said after the game that the players themselves, you didn't need to say much to them. They were aware of kind of where they'd gone wrong and the levels that they reached on the afternoon. Is it easier in that scenario when you come back to address it as quickly as possible?
Yeah, like I say, I think we've got an honest group of lads who will take ownership and take responsibility for certain things, and and that's what we have in here. It's a group that we've created, and it's what we want to have. We want to have that open dialogue with the players can come and see us, and it's not always about just because I say something. The players have always got a chance to open up and tell us what they think. So it's been a good morning this morning. We managed to just identify a couple of things that we need to be better at. And we've went on the training ground this morning and prepared for the game tomorrow evening. How
did everybody come through it?
I think everyone's fine. Obviously, we'll be missing Mols for this game. Tom Anderson, we will appeal the red card. So hopefully we hear back from that this evening, or by hopefully, but probably the latest that we can receive back is probably tomorrow morning. But it'd be good if we receive back this evening. Obviously reviewing the footage and seeing it back, it's a coming together. I don't think it's excessive force or anything like that. I think it's a coming together between him and Dunkley. They both have got a grip of each other. They're both pulling each other. So and the fact that it's the linesman that's given it from 60 metres away. Hopefully we have a case. We'll see. So I've spoken to Tom about that this morning and the head of referees. So we'll see how that goes. But there's some things in the game we're disappointed with. Obviously, I spoke to Mike Jones this morning on the penalty incident on Molyneux. He tells me it's not a penalty, and I've got to go with that. And the penalty incident that leads to Chesterfield getting the second goal, which is not a penalty either. And he told me that this morning. So I knew that anyway at the time. We knew that if your hand's in a natural position, we seen it yesterday in the Premier League game. If it's in a natural position, then the referee should not be given a penalty for that. So that's disappointing, because that goal was probably just taking the game away and taking the sting out of the game. From us obviously having gone down to 10 men.
How difficult is it to stomach that kind of, you have these conversations after a game or in the days after a game, and you're told that mistakes were made. How do you deal with that, and kind of you've got to move on from it yourself, but you're aware that the wrong decision?
Well, look, I think the referees got the right call on Luke Molyneux, according to the head of referees, Mike Jones, and Mike's a good guy, and he always is always totally honest. He's obviously made the wrong call on the Ephron incident. There was another penalty shout for Chesterfield, but probably was more of a penalty than the Ephron one, when the ball got crossed in and Tom's arms are raised a little bit trying to block a cross. That's what we were told in the summer, that if your arms are out blocking a cross, then they'll give penalties, but he didn't give that one. So he's almost reverted back to the old type, which is disappointing, because look, would we have got back into the game with 10 men and having to send it off? Who knows? We're at home. We would have went for it anyway. We had Billy and Joe on the pitch at the time, but the penalty incident, it sort of took the game away from us, and that's disappointing from me. But look, it's gone now. Referees do make mistakes, but I just hope they learn from it, and the 3,000 fans behind the goal shouting penalty has probably swayed them to pointing to the spot. So credit to Chesterfield for their away following. Credit to Paul Cook for his team. Very, very good team. But we didn't get ourselves. We didn't put ourselves in a position to try and have a go at them because of certain factors in the game. We didn't get our press right. We weren't aggressive enough. We didn't move enough in possession. But listen, it's going to happen. We're not perfect. We have to keep improving.
You're going to have to call on your squad for at least one change, potentially two, pending that appeal. How was the squad holding up? It's been a busy period for you.
It has, and that's why we built a big squad and a decent and a good squad. So James Maxwell has trained again today. James is probably going to need this week. A full week's training into him and see where he is for Saturday's game. Same Westbrook again, probably needs his full week of training. They've had a wee bit towards the back end, but nice to have those two back because big players for us. And everyone else is okay. Tom Nixon's coming along okay, probably another week or two away. Woody's a little bit longer than that, but the squad's good. The squad's fine. Everyone's come in this morning. Obviously, a little bit quiet this morning, but we picked them up again, got them on the training ground, and looking forward to the game under the lights tomorrow evening. You
said it after the game on Saturday that opportunity knocks for somebody to come in and come in and place a Luke Molyneux.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's what it's all about. People wait patiently for opportunities, and just what happens that maybe two opens up tomorrow if we're unsuccessful with the appeal on Tom. So it's the boys are looking forward to it. The two lads that we've sort of prepared today are happy because that's the two force changes that we probably need to make. But like I say, we'll wait to see what comes back off the appeal.
What do you make to the challenge that Barrow will pose you?
I think they've started very well. I was disappointed to see Stephen leave last year. I know Stephen pretty well. Leave Gillingham because I didn't have a chance to get going, and he's in and he's out. And I remember speaking to him after that, saying, keep your head, and I'm sure another opportunity will come. And it did, and he started very, very well at Barrow. I think they've recruited well. He sort of changed their style a little bit from what Pete had them, but what remains in that Barrow team is the work ethic, the energy, the aggression that's obviously had them in and around the top end of the league for the last 2-3 years. So we expect a very tough game. If we're not ready for it, then it could be a very tough game for us. But we have to make sure we get all the out of possession stuff better than what we showed on Saturday, and that's doing the basics better. The competing, winning duels, running more, being aggressive before we even think about playing our game.
I'm going to ask you the differences, obviously, that have been under Pete Wild for a lengthy period of time, but what sort of differences have you seen under Stephen Clemens?
It's without trying to pick the bones out of it too much. I think he's recruited some good players. I know he's got a few injuries, but he's got some good legs. I like the midfield, the energy in there. The dangerous set plays. I think half of their goals have come from set plays this season. Vassell, Stokes, people like Aqua. They're a physical team. So we've got to be ready to stand up to that. But we have to make sure that we are as aggressive, in fact more aggressive than them in everything we do out of possession. And then we give ourselves a platform or a forward platform to try and go and create them problems.
Been speaking to Will Flint, and people will see the interview on the channels in the next couple of days or so, but what have you made to Will while he's been out on loan at Darlington?
Excellent. It's great to see the young players getting minutes. We've got quite a few of our boys out playing football, men's football. But Will's obviously, the reports coming back as he's been in tremendous form. They're not conceding many goals. He's part of that midfield anchor role that we feel it's going to be a big position for him in years to come. And it was a great opportunity for him to go and play. It's a good level, the National League North, and he comes up against some strong teams. He's going to get different ways of understanding the game, whether teams go long or teams play. So it's a perfect foil for Will to be brighter in the future for us and brighter for himself.
Not a bad learning environment to be in. Steve Watson, a player who's shown that versatility during his top career.
And Steve, good guy, Steve, and had a tremendous career himself. Played a lot of games in the Premier League at Newcastle, etc. So great place for Will to go and learn his trade and get beat about a little bit and pushed around. But he's a strong boy, Flinty, and I'm really pleased that he's having a good loan there. As is Jack Goodman and Jack DeGrucci and Jake Oram and people like that. Bobby and Louis. I know they're both out of the team at the minute over there, but the experiences of it is what we're looking for, and I think it'll hold them all in better stead.